put it away.
There's nothing I look forward to every morning more than putting on my favourite True North Adventures skivvy from the Black Wiggle. This is the star of the trip, you know. The workhorses over there got us there, but this is the fun bit. The Quintrex 5-metre fish seeker. As far as off-road trailer boats go, it's probably a little bit bigger than a lot of the others. A lot of what people are towing around, especially to get out in the blue water, is probably like a 4.6 or something like that. 5-metre, we bought this second-hand, saw the setup, we've customised it slightly, but it was used for the same thing with the previous owner, and we really like the setup. The Millennium hull may be the greatest leap forward in aluminium boats at comfort level in the last century. Without that Millennium hull, you'd probably look for another boat. If you're going to hit chop, if you're going to go into some swell, that Millennium hull is great. Let's talk about the trailer. We got the Treg hitch for the off-roading, which was necessary. There's no way you'd even attempt to do the Starkey River track or anything even close to it with anything other than an off-road hitch. All this is pretty standard. We've put an extra ratchet on while traveling so that all the pressure is not on that winch cable. These stone guards we picked up about a month ago, modified them, and they fit quite well. Prior to that, we would tarp and wrap and strap down the whole boat. This is the first trip with them without putting a tarp over the whole lot, a big canvas cover. Great, easier, less packing, less setting up, but you do get a bit more dust in the boat. So we always figured that was going to happen. While we're going past it, little modification here. Anchors are out. No one uses anchors anymore unless you need to. This is for the Minn Kota. It's a 24 volt, 80 pound thrust model, and it's phenomenal. Flicking headlands, setting tracks for trolling, slow trolling, or just holding your point. If you find a nice bit of structure, unreal. You can't go past them. The two batteries, which sit about here, just in front of that console, constantly during the day getting charged by the solar panel on the roof. The canopy setup is modified from what we had originally. It's a much smaller canopy than what it came with. The bigger canopy, that high center of gravity, we were getting cracks on the aluminium welds and it was causing some issues. We ended up just making an aluminium frame, a lot heavier duty than the original one, and using a 24 volt solar panel as the canopy. It's been on for probably 1.5 years, 2 years now. We haven't had any problems with it. There's no cracking. The 24 volt output panels are pretty economical to buy, and it doubles as a canopy. A little bit of shelter from the rain if you ever needed it as well. Keeps that console really dry. Lost a plugger. These are mangrove jack pluggers. Yeah, fitting, considering I caught the biggest mangrove jack on the trip as well. Whatever. It's a custom made trailer, pretty straightforward. It's box section steel, Duragal steel. It's been painted over all the welds. Pretty straightforward. It's been repaired a few times. It's done a few trips. It's easy to work with, easy to modify if you know how to weld. The running gear, the axle, hubs, were all changed out completely to get better clearance and a bit more reliability doing some off-road work, which the previous setup probably wasn't designed for harder off-road work, more corrugations and lighter tracks. The spare tyre is on the back of the Land Cruiser. In a pinch, it's the same stud pattern. You could put one of the Land Cruiser tyres on here if you had to, in a pinch, just to limp somewhere. Yamaha 60 horsepower 4-stroke. We also use this boat out of Cairns, do a lot of deep water stuff in about 70 metres, 50 k's off the shore. So we always thought, you know, it'd be nice to go bigger, but this motor has been really reliable. It's pretty economical on fuel. It'll put 4 blokes and an esky on the plane and get up to about 19, almost 20 knots, which is enough. We often don't have 4 blokes in the boat, but normally the eskies are full. So, you know, we can normally travel around 21 knots comfortably without going, you know, wide open throttle. Canopy here, it's adjustable. We put it down to travel just so we didn't hit too many overhanging branches. It'll go up about another 200 mil. So at the moment, it's just at 1800. When we normally use it, we lift it at about 150 mil just to get it out of our way, you know, with rods and people running around. You don't want to bump your head. 9-inch Garmin combo. It's got both the sonar and the maps on there. Perfect. You can do a split screen or a full screen of either. When we get to where we're going, we normally just go full screen on the sounder, and that's a good one. All wired up. We put the Bluetooth system in for the radio. So when you're out there and you found a good spot, you Bluetooth your phone, and that really gets cranking. Or if you've got radio reception, you can listen to the footy. All the safety gear as standard. We got the VHF, flares, V-sheets, everything that's needed, tucked away as appropriate. I'd like to say it's nice and neat, ready to go, but we need to do a little bit of work. It's a bit of a mess in here at the moment. Rod storage under the gunnels. We got 2 tanks, 160, 170, both located just behind the console. It's good. It's a bit of a safety net as well. If you ever have fuel problems in one, you can flick over to the other. You also know when you've run one out, you're about halfway through your fuel. That sort of 130 litres would take you a long way in this boat. In this trip here, well, we wouldn't have even gone through 1 tank. So we've got the battery display or the battery readout here. That only monitors the 2 batteries we've got in front, which drive the Minn Kota. Just so we know when we're sort of how we're traveling. Providing we get sun, it's never ever going to be an issue. We've traveled with other guys who run a generator sometimes at night to charge batteries, but if we're getting sun out there, we're almost putting as much in as we're drawing out. So it's been a really good solution. Cup holders here are essential. We have 2 cup holders there, and we also put them in because they double as an access to get in behind that Garmin and all that wiring really quickly. Often transducer plugs and stuff like that might wriggle a bit free. We can check them and keep moving. The whole thing does fold down. It's all hinged. It's a little bit of work to get it down. You'd have to pull the whole canopy off. And because it's made heavy duty, we don't need to do that to travel. So that's the Quintrex 5.0. Catches heaps of fish. Well, my side does.